As the 2023 NBA regular season comes to an end, we have each major award locked in, and this year we've got plenty of surprise candidates across the board, and even a few late season surges for different types of awards. Today, I'll be predicting who should win, along with the runner-up for each major award. So if you do enjoy the video, I would really appreciate it if you can hit that like and subscribe button, or dislike, I don't really care. Help my channel grow, and get on top of that YouTube algorithm. First up for MVP, I have Joel Embiid as the winner, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as the runner-up. To me, Joel Embiid should be the very clear favourite to win the award, despite the media and betting agencies telling you that it's a tight three-way race. And I say this as a Celtics fan who does not fuck with the 76ers whatsoever, and I hate watching Embiid play. I don't like the fact that he's 300 pounds and flopping around like a little bird, but you gotta give credit where credit is due. And I am a basketball fan first and a Celtics fan second, and this year, Embiid is having nothing short of an amazing season. He's easily having the best season of his career, averaging 33 points, 10.2 rebounds, 4 assists and 1.7 blocks per game. And you can see the difference when Embiid is on versus off the floor. The 76ers are a fringe playoff team without him, and are elite on both ends of the floor with him. You know, they currently have the number 4 offense and the number 8 defense. A lot of people have Nikola Jokic as the winner, or a very close second runner-up to Embiid. Personally, I think that Giannis deserves to be that runner-up instead. Giannis's Bucks have the best record in the NBA, and obviously Giannis is at the forefront of that, and I think if not for Embiid, he should win. For me, the case against Giannis is simply the Bucks are still a very, very good team without him, and just the fact that Embiid overall has had the better individual season, and I think has been much more impactful as well for his team. As for Jokic, there's only been 3 players who have three-peated the MVP award: Larry Bird, Wilt Chamberlain, and Bill Russell. And in my opinion, with the talent across the NBA in today's game, you need to do some crazy ass shit to earn a third straight MVP, you know, such as going 73 and 9, or averaging a 40-point triple-double. And as great as Jokic's individual numbers are, you know, obviously he's averaging very, very close to a triple-double. The Nuggets have a win percentage which is below both the Bucks and the Celtics, and they're tied with the 76ers with the 51-26 record. So I do think of the 3 candidates, if I'm being 100% honest, Jokic's team would probably suffer the most without him, and probably not a playoff team, seeing as the Nuggets are 3-7 without Jokic, whereas the 76ers are 9-5 without Embiid, and the Bucks are 10-6 without Giannis. But the fact that the Nuggets are having a good but not amazing, you know, win percentage, and voter fatigue playing a factor as well, I don't think he deserves his 3rd consecutive MVP. Maybe this is a question for, you know, should the voting criteria change, but that's probably a discussion for another day. Rookie of the Year, my winner is Paolo Banchero, and my runner-up is Jalen Williams, or J-Dub. Now this one is straightforward, but not so straightforward at the same time. You know, Paolo Banchero has kind of set that gold standard for most of the season, if not all of the season, and will most likely win the award, as he is averaging 20 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game. I actually do think that Jalen Williams is making a huge push for Rookie of the Year, but I just don't think he has enough time to solidify himself in the race and put him, you know, as the favorite on top of Paolo. If the season was another, say, 20 to 30 games or longer, it could be a different story, but he's only recently put the league on notice, whilst Paolo, you know, he's pretty much remained consistent for the entire season. And as a matter of fact, you know, Benedict Mathurin was actually the clear-cut second favorite rookie to win the award for most of the season as well. Now, with that being said, in his last 20 games, J-Dub is actually averaging 19.2 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and shooting a crazy 56.5% from the field and 43.6% from 3. His true shooting percentage of 60.5% as well puts him way above Paolo's 53%. Now, he is the more efficient scorer, and he is a better defender, I believe, at this stage, you know, over Paolo. Not to mention, he's also playing a more impactful role on a team looking to make the playoffs, whereas Paolo's Magic are currently 13th in the East. But with that being said, I just think Paolo's been too good for too long, whereas Jalen has been amazing, great for a bit of a short stretch. But, you know, recency bias might come into play, but I think it should be Paolo's to lose. Most improved player, I have Lauri Markkanen, with the runner-up being Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Jazz have surprised a lot of people this season after trading away, you know, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert in the offseason. They look pretty much destined to be a team tanking, you know, for Victor Wembanyama, but instead they remained competitive throughout the entire year and were actually the 1 seed earlier on in the season as they stormed out of the gates with the 9-3 start. And obviously Lauri Markkanen is front and center of all this, and it wouldn't be possible without him. It looks like Lowry's, he's finally found his place and his footing in the league after a few seasons of, just not really knowing his role, with the Bulls and then the Cavs. This season is averaging a whopping 10.9 points more than he did last season, up to 25.7 points per game from 14.8 points per game, and is shooting by far a career best 50.1% from the field, and by far a career high true shooting percentage of 64.3%, which is crazy because, he's had a huge increase in his role and his responsibility from being the Jazz's #1 option. Obviously, he's also notched his first ever All-Star appearance as well. So I think this award is really Lowry. He's running away with it, to put it quite, plainly. As for the runner-up, I do have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who himself has been, nothing short of amazing as well. He's led the Thunder to a play-in spot, or, almost guaranteed a play-in spot. And he's also earned his first time, All-Star honors this season too. And in comparison to last season, is averaging 6.9 more points than he did. But I think, what kind of separates Lowry and Shai is the fact that a leap like this, is pretty much expected from a young, star guard from Shai. He's always been seen as a star or a star in the making, whereas Lowry's came out of nowhere. So I think this one's pretty straightforward. Sixth man of the year, I've got the winner being Immanuel Quickley and the runner-up being Malcolm Brogdon. This one hurts me to say as a Celtics fan, but after seeing Immanuel Quickley explode for 38 points against my Celtics in that double overtime game, I knew he was fucking legit. I already knew he was a great player and an underrated player at that, but him shitting all over the Celtics really put him on notice for me. And I know this is a Sixth Man of the Year award, but when he was asked to start for Brunson, which I think is something to note in the voting criteria, Quickley has more than stepped up in his place. He's averaged 21.1 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists as a starter, while shooting 46.8% from the field and 37.8% from 3. And it felt like, every time Brunson was out, Quickley was, he was able to pick up the slack. Now, he did make a late season surge to take over Brogdon for the award, and I think, this is also partly due to the fact that Brunson's been in and out of the Knicks lineup as of late. I actually thought that Brogdon was comfortably leading the Sixth Man of the Year race until maybe the last 20 or 30 games or so. And, overall, I still think Brogdon is the clear runner-up, given his consistent play all season long. You could also give an honorable mention to Bobby Portis. But I think, with the recent surge that Quickley has had, in addition to him already being a great candidate to begin with and, being a great player and consistent player throughout the year, I think that puts him on top for me. Defensive Player of the Year, I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. with the runner-up being Evan Mobley. As a team, the Grizzlies are currently ranked second in defensive rating and they're knocking on the doorstep, of the Cavs for the best defensive team in the league. Now, the Grizzlies, they have a lot of sneaky good defenders on the team which aren't household names, guys such as Desmond Bane. Dylan Brooks, I think, is a bit more well-known, but he might be more known for his dirty antics. You've got Tyus Jones and Steven Adams as well, but Jaren Jackson Jr. or Triple J is clearly their most impactful defender, and the Grizzlies won't be anywhere near as good as they are defensively without him. He's leading the league in blocks, averaging an insane 3.1 blocks per game, and he's also great at switching onto smaller players. Overall, opponents are shooting 4.6% less when being guarded by Triple J, which is an excellent mark considering how much time he spends guarding, perimeter players as well. Brook Lopez is also a very close second to Jaren Jackson Jr., and I think that a lot of the media and, sports betting agencies do have him as second, and deservedly so. But I personally think that Evan Mobley should get more credit, given the Cavs are the best, right now the best defensive team in the league. He, alongside of Jared Allen, have done a terrific job covering for, the liabilities, which is, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell to a certain extent on the defensive end. And is also the most versatile defender the Cavs have, similar to Jaren Jackson Jr. And he often closes out, games for the Cavs at the center position. Brook Lopez, meanwhile, I think he's quite arguably, if not, the best rim protector in the league. But at the same time, the Bucks, they're currently third in defensive rating, and, they have a lot of great defenders, and I mean elite defenders by Brook, which it kind of sucks, but I do think that kind of takes away some of his merit. You've got Giannis, who's obviously won DPOY. You've got Drew Holiday, who's, he's known for being the best perimeter guard in the entire league. And then you've got plenty of other scrappy guys as well, Wes Matthews, Jay Crowder, the list goes on, Javon Carter. So Brook Lopez has been great, and, if he's runner-up or even if he wins, I certainly wouldn't complain. But for me, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is the front runner, and I think a very close second should actually be Evan Mobley. Coach of the Year, aka the award that no one cares about, I've got the winner being Mike Brown, and the runner-up being Mark Daigneault. So this one's pretty straightforward. If you told me at the beginning of the season that a Kings roster with, Fox, Herter, Murray, Barnes, Sabonis, with, Mitchell, Monk, and Lyles being the top 3 guys off the bench would finish as the number 3 seed in the West and the best record out of all the California teams, between the Warriors, Lakers, and Clippers, I would have said you're out of your fucking mind. Mike Brown has taken this team and led them to the best offense in NBA history, with a huge gap between themselves and the second best offense. The gap between 1 and 2 is the same as the gap between 2 and 14, which is just fucking crazy when you don't have any bona fide elite scorers in their lineup. Like, yes, the Kings have a great collection, a collection of great players, some of which you would argue are probably role players on a real championship contending team. So I think, the job is done with these guys is absolutely insane, given that a lot of people probably thought that the Kings would be around that 10 to 12 seed. And so it's pretty straightforward here. Runner-up, I do have OKC's Mark Daigneault for similar reasons to Mike Brown, albeit obviously to a lesser extent, given that OKC is fighting for a play-in spot and not sitting comfortable in 3rd place in the West. Obviously, huge credit to Daigneault for saving OKC's season after Chet Holmgren's injury, where everyone straight away, they got up and said OKC is going to be tanking for Wemby. So he's done an amazing job, and, it's going to be very interesting, and I'm very keen to see how OKC goes next season, once they integrate a healthy Chet thrown into this already great young team. You got Shea, Giddey, Holmgren, like J-Dub, Jalen Williams, they got a very good roster. And so there you have it. Those are my predictions for every single major award winner this season. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.